So, ABR 2026. What a fucking disaster. So this year, me, Mark and Keith headed down to the ABR 2026. We travelled down from Newcastle. It's a good 4 or 5 hour drive down. Headed down there early to try and get an early start on Super Thursday. One of the first learning points for us, we thought it would be a great idea to head in the entrance alongside caravans and other vehicles rather than motorbikes. The reason for that, it's very, very close to the quiet camping area. So it's literally just off the back of it. What we didn't realize was that the queues for the camper vans and other vehicles is absolutely ridiculous. So first hint, if you are heading down there on the Thursday or any other day, and you are on just a bike, just use the bike entrance. There's no real use in going through the caravan and van entrance because the queues are pretty insane. So just so happened to be the day we were heading down there was going to be the hottest day of the year. So when we arrived at around 9:30ish, it was pushing 30 degrees. By midday, it was 36 degrees. And we thought it would be a good idea to get it out of the way, especially on Super Thursday, to head straight to the trails. Keep our kit on. We're already damp, we're already sweaty. Before they get busy, before the sort of Friday, Saturday, Sunday kicks in, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of bikes trying to get around them. This is our second, or certainly my second learning point, and this is where disaster struck. Being on the trails is great. First, we were in the very first group, so we were maybe the first 10, 20 bikes to be on the Bridgestone Trail. Now, the problem with that is, yes, it's quiet, but the track hasn't been cut yet. So you haven't had the thousands of bikes through. It hasn't been ripped up. It hasn't turned into actual track. What it is essentially is just long grass. And long grass, as you know, is very, very slippy. Now, I went down on 80/20 Pirelli Scorpion STRs on the T7. Fantastic in the dry, fantastic in rocks and gravel. Pirelli Scorpion STRs are horrific in any sort of wet and any sort of smooth surface. They're really, really poor, that 80/20s. I thought I would get away with it, being as though it was 36 degrees. Clearly not. Couple of learning points. When we go back next year, which I think we will, I won't be going on the trails on the Thursday. I think I'll be using the Thursday to test ride the bikes, which obviously I didn't get a chance to do because when I came off, full of adrenaline, I broke my shoulder. I didn't realize at the time I broke my shoulder, deadlifted the bike, got back up and cracked on. I came off 2 more times after that. To be honest, the period between the first fall and the last fall is pretty much a blur. There was a lot of adrenaline. I didn't feel any pain and it was all a bit blurry. So a couple of learning points from that. If you go on the Thursday, be wary if you're going on the trails first. They aren't cut and it's very, very slippy. Keith and Mark went on the Saturday after thousands of bikes being through in the trails. They said, well, it was like a different track. It was awesome. They thoroughly enjoyed it. On the Thursday, they hated it. So that's the first learning point. Second learning point, put the right tyres on the bike. Scorpion STRs certainly weren't the right tyres for me. Certainly not on the Thursday either. They probably would have done not too bad from Saturday onwards, but certainly not on the Thursday. And another learning point, if you do go down on the trail, take your time to collect yourself. Push your bike off to the side, take a breather, catch your breath, work out what's going on, sort of feel for any injuries. Don't do what I did. I literally came off, broke my shoulder, deadlifted the bike, got straight back on and cracked on. Now I tried to crack on with bent handlebars as well, and we get onto that in a moment. So trying to ride the trail with probably some sort of concussion and a broken shoulder and a bent handlebar, obviously I went down twice more after that, which wasn't fantastic. So essentially my riding for the weekend was over. But hey ho, shit happens. In terms of the camping itself, we stayed in the quiet zone. The reason for that is just to get good head down each evening. To be honest, it is really quiet. It is parked way away from what I gather to a new area. It's way away from all the sort of entertainment. You still hear the stage until the main stage shuts, but it is very, very quiet down there. There's not a lot of chat on music or partying after hours, which was awesome for us. It is quite a walk away from the main area, so do be willing to walk some distance. But the vast majority of the time you're heading to the trails, you're on the bike anyway, so a little bit of distance isn't going to make any difference. Now, I have seen a few videos with people whinging about the facilities. I couldn't disagree more. If you've ever been to a festival, if you've been to Transmit or Glastonbury or something like that, or even just a local festival, facilities are usually dog shit. There's literally people having a dump on top of the dump on top of the dump, and they're horrific to stand near, never mind inside. Now, I remember going for a dump one day, and there's literally a staff member stood outside with a toilet brush waiting for me to finish. The facilities for me, for a festival, are absolutely fantastic. They are everywhere. They're well cleaned. I never went into one dirty toilet, one dirty shower block, nothing. Water was on tap at each area, fantastic. And the staff seem to be there 24/7. Now, people have give a lot of heat to the ABR around the quality of the facilities, number of facilities. I can't see it. I don't see it. It's very much first world problems. What we saw and what we experienced was fantastic. So I couldn't knock the facilities whatsoever. At the quiet camping area on the first day, on the Thursday, our coffee station, our free tea and coffee station wasn't set up. Again, first world problems. Who gives a shit? I was nursing a broken shoulder anyway, so I wasn't really thinking about tea or coffee, just thinking about recovery and alcohol to try and numb the pain. In terms of what to do, there's pretty much everything for everyone. Now, if you're heading there looking for parts, you're looking for bar ends or handlebars or heated grips or straps or camping stoves, anything like that, trust me, it's there. I'd be surprised if there's nothing there for you. So there's plenty to shop and do. There's every part you need for your trip if you want to add to your trip. Some fantastic stalls out there. I wouldn't say they were pricey. You'd probably get a better price than you will online on the day. So certainly bring some shopping money if you do need that. So you've got the shopping side of things. You've got all of the manufacturer stores, OEM stores as well. So Ducati are there, KTM are there, BMW are there, Yamaha are there, Honda are there. So every bike you can think of, especially ABR related, is there. So you get a chance to sit and then feel the weight, understand, speak to the staff. So all the manufacturers are there. Plenty of shops are there. Food and drink. I had one of the best kebabs I've ever had from Pretty Authentic Store. You've got burgers, you've got meat, you've got vegetarian, you've got Greek, you've got Indian, you've got Chinese. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. It can be pricey. But again, I come back to the whole, have you ever been to a festival? Now, I'm from the north, and as it is, I'm pretty tight. £6 for a pint of Guinness. It's not mind-boggling. You'll easily pay up. I've paid £9 recently for a pint of Guinness in London, so the prices aren't insane. You can pay £3.90 for a Carlsberg, I believe, although I don't drink dog shit. So it can be pricey, but one of the main areas near the Sparta bar, you pay 15 quid for food and a pint, which we had a stone-baked pizza and a pint for 15 quid. Again, you're at a festival. What do you expect? Quality of the food's decent. If you're going to drink every hour of every day, yes, it's going to rack up and it's going to get expensive, but all in all, price-wise, I don't think it was that bad, and it had everything for everyone. Now, in terms of other things to do, I would advise everyone to do this. We played some sort of little car game on the Bridgestone where you sort of control cars. That was awesome. We went to all the raffles. So K&N had a raffle on. Keith won a hat at the K&N raffle, which was cool. You can go on a wheelie machine, full-blown wheelie machine, get on there and practice how to wheelie with a load of staff. There's a sim bike you can get on and go around a track. There's shooting there. There's axe throwing. There's bushcrafts. Now, if you're going to go to this festival and you're going to spend a decent amount of time there, don't just go and get pissed and forget about the vast majority of what you did. Use the time there. I think you'd have a lot more fun. You'll have a much better time if you try and do everything that is there. I even took a day to head up to Radley Hall. I did the tour of the hall, walked around the hall, which is a pretty cool place to see if you're into that stuff. So yeah, just there's a lot to do. And if you just isolate yourself to just maybe partying or whatever, you're probably not getting a lot out of it. On the last day, we went to the GoPro stage where the pros were jumping logs, and the likes of Chris Birch riding bikes. Like, it makes it look like they're on BMXs. It's insane what these guys can do. It's well worth going to see that stuff. So there's a lot on offer in terms of what to do. Yeah, we sat through a fantastic talk with Charlie Borman. Chris Birch was on stage. Foggo, in terms of the TT, was on stage. So there's a lot of awesome talks there as well, getting to listen sort of first hand what these guys are up to and what they're about and that little bit of the background. So that's pretty cool. But one of the things I think is different with the ABR, one thing you need to realize is everybody at the ABR is there because they love bikes. So you're basically surrounded by friends. Everyone is into bikes, loves bikes, whether it's road bikes, adventure bikes, or motocross. Everyone's into bikes. So talk to people. The amount of conversations I had with random people at random bars was just awesome. We're all into the same things. And it all starts a conversation. What do you ride? I ride a Tenere. Well, what do you ride? I'm on a JS or whatever. And you have those conversations. So everyone we met was awesome. There was no issues there. There was no trouble. I can't imagine there was any issues for security staff, anything like that. So yeah, all in all, you're surrounded by people that love the one thing you love as well. So just make the most of being surrounded by sort of friends and peers in that group, which is pretty awesome. In terms of the trails themselves, and this is almost second-hand for me, because obviously broke my shoulder on the first trail. There's 3 main trails. You've got the beginner trail, which we skipped at the start, not from a place of arrogance. Just we thought, well, because of some of the stuff we've done, we probably wouldn't have brought any value. So the Bridgestones trail is about 30 kilometers. There's gravel, there's hill climbs, there's grass, there's some water crossings. It's pretty standard, it's pretty straightforward. It's not going to stretch a lot of people, but please do take your time. Admittedly, I was probably going a little too quick into the first corner that I did come off. But the surface of tires, there's a few other things in on that as well. So the Bridgestone Sprint is pretty cool. Even if you are intermediate, even if you are pro, you'll still have a lot of fun on it. It is a long trail, so do expect when you get out there, you're going to be on it for about 45 minutes straight. So it is hard work as well. It's a lot of graft. You will come off there sweating and aching in the usual places or unusual places if you've never done it before. The other main trail is the TRF trail. TRF trail is around 8 kilometers or so. It's not a long trail, but it's much harder work. There's some there's some pretty muddy water crossings in there that'll test you and the bike. Certainly if you haven't got the right tires on there, it buries a lot of people. There's a lot of raggedy hill climbs, there's sand, there's dust, there's rocks, there's shale, there's grass. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. It's pretty hard work, and this is feedback from Mark and Keith, who absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. One of the main points to the TRF trail, the renowned Bog of Doom, unless you know exactly what you're doing and you're on a bike that is fit for purpose, just avoid that shit. It's funny to watch on the big screen down in the sort of stands. It's fantastic to run that live, so you can sit and have a beer and watch that go through. But it was literally just swallowing bikes of all shapes and all sizes. And the people that were getting through it are clearly, they know what they're doing. There was one guy that Keith videoed on a T7 World Raid, so big bike, exhaust sounded amazing. This guy was doing loops. He went round 3 times back to back, straight in, straight out, straight in, straight out. Obviously knows what he's doing. So you can come off the TRF trail, park up your bike and go down and have a watch of the Bog of Doom, which is pretty cool to do. But yeah, unless you are kitted correctly on a good bike with the right tires and you know what you're doing, I'd probably avoid it. Even if you think I'm just going to go through for the crack, just sort of, it'll be funny. You'll end up just getting dragged out. You might drown the bike. For us, it wasn't really worth it, but there we are. The other trails you can do, which is a big part that I did miss out on, but we saw them consistently, was testing the bikes. You see a KTM. I really wanted to try the 390 Adventure R, BMW 450 GS, some of the smaller adventure bikes. Cove were there, or Cove, don't know how it's pronounced. Royal Enfield, Himalayan, a lot of people out on the Himalayans. So there's Transalp. There's a lot of bikes there you can test, and they've got their own dedicated trails that they go out on, as well as the road, I believe, they get out as well. So if you're thinking about buying a new bike, why the hell not? Why the hell not get all of the manufacturers in one place so you can test all of the bikes before you throw your money away or splash down on something extravagant? So definitely use the time while you're there, the trial a lot of the bikes, get out on the trails and see what they really like and see if they were a good fit for yourself. Now, one of the key stories from this, I was very, very lucky that the AA were there, as in the Automotive Association, not Alcoholics Anonymous, although both will be a relatively good fit for me. So the AA were there. So luckily as a member, when I bent my bars and the bike was unrideable, certainly with a broken shoulder, but either or, I went and purchased a new set of cheap bars. LSL bars cost us 60 quid. Headed down to the AA tent, fixed. And I mean fixed within a couple hours. These guys are on the ball. These were like the superstars of the ABR. No matter where you went, who you spoke to, whether I was grabbing a burger, grabbing a beer, whether I was in a tent, at a speaker's tent, out buying things, everybody knew who they were. Now they kept hundreds of bikers going on the ABR, bikers from all over the world, bikers from Germany, bikers from the Netherlands, for the northest point in Scotland. So if you're not a member and you're heading down there, and if you think about it, you're heading onto the trails, there's a chance you may damage the bike as well. Drop in and see these guys. They will sort you out. There's nothing they cannot do. Some of the fixes and some of the strips down there that we're doing, just the general support and the way they carry themselves and support themselves and what they were doing on behalf of the A was just, it was fantastic to watch, fantastic to see. And if it wasn't for those guys, there's a good chance I would have been riding the bike back with bent handlebars and a broken shoulder, which could have been disastrous. So just to close out, a couple of top tips. Is the Thursday worth it? Hell yes. When you get down on the Thursday and you see the Thursday in comparison to the Friday, it's chalk and cheese. Because the site's so big, and there's not a lot of Super Thursday tickets sold. When you get down there on the Thursday, it's very quiet. You get to see everything, do everything without a hustle and bustle. There's no waiting for beers. There's no waiting for food. There's no waiting to sign up to do to test some of the bikes. It's all really easy going because there's hardly anyone there and the site's so big. So when we go again in 27, will we go on the Thursday? Absolutely. 100% we go on the Thursday. Second tip off that is, if you go on the Thursday, well, for me, certainly, I'm going to avoid the trails on the Thursday. The tracks aren't cut yet. It's very, very slippy. So unless you're on the right bike with the right tyres, even with the right tyres, there's still a chance that it isn't enjoyable because it hasn't been cut. It's like riding on ice. So for us, serving me, when we go on Thursday next year, I won't hit the trails on the first day. I'll wait till they've been cut up, probably back end of Friday, early Saturday. In terms of when you get down there, if you're on a bike, head to the bike entrance. Avoid the caravan and other vehicle entrance. The queue was insane. I've never seen anything like it. Now, I don't know why the ABR do it. You've got to sign a disclaimer first, which is a separate form. And once that's signed, you then go to the tent to get your sort of tickets and the sticker on your helmet and stuff, so you can ride trails and sticker on your bike so they know that you're meant to be there. I understand why they do the sticker thing, because if they sent them out via post, guarantee someone will be copying them, printing them, and just sticking them on the bike and getting in for free, which obviously they can't have because the numbers will be inflated. So I get that side of things, but surely there can be an electronic disclaimer online attached to your ticket, something like that, because the queues for the disclaimer were absolutely ridiculous. So if you're on a bike, head to the bike entrance, go straight to the disclaimer tent first, then pick up your tickets. Don't go to the caravan and all other vehicles entrance if you're on a bike. It's a waste of time. The queues are insane. If you do want a good night's sleep, quiet camping's for you. The whole quiet camping area, it's huge. Even when it was packed, it was quiet on an evening. Every time we came back, certainly when it got close to dark, there was no noise, there was no music, there was no partying. And I was going to say we got a decent head down, but it was still 30 odd degrees. So it was insane even inside the tent. One of the nights I came back, I found Keith sort of lying outside just on an inflatable bed, trying to get his head down because the heat was so insane. So quiet camping for me, it's well worth it. If you want to be down there and amongst the party, it is loud down there and there's loads of bikes running all hours. So it's not great sleep-wise. Quiet camping for us, it's great fit. In terms of camping, one of the tips I would give is pack for comfort on the bike. Overload the bike. Stick as much comfort as you can get on there. Your best sleeping bag, your best tent, your biggest awning, your cooking kit, all that sort of stuff, get it on. Which is not something I usually do when I motorbike camp. Because obviously when I'm on the trails motorbike camping, I've got the kit on the bike. So I don't want the bike to be overloaded. But when you're down there, you strip the bike. Everything comes off. So go in comfort. Take all of your kit, all of the sort of, even the non-necessities, all the nice to have stuff, take it with you. Because when you are riding about on the bike, when you are on the trails, when you're out testing bikes, you don't carry any of that kit with you like you would if you were moto camping. So go in style, take everything you need. Top tip. Another tip, whilst there, do everything that's on offer. Do axe throwing, do shooting, get on the wheeling machine, play all the games, join all the raffles, walk through all the stores. Make the time down there well worth it. I mean, you can just go there to party and whatnot. You can just go there and go on the trails, but there's a lot on offer there, so do utilize it. Food's fantastic, drinks fantastic. There's loads of speakers on. There's someone for everyone. So dot around the tents and try and do as much as you can down there. Don't treat it as your sort of average festival. There's a lot on offer, so I think you'd have a much better time if you do everything. Another tip, and this one is around security. Now, there was word in 2025 where a number of bikes were actually stolen. People were coming onto the site in transit vans, loading vans and driving off, which is just horrible pieces of shit. So bring a disc lock, bring a D-lock, bring a light lock, bring a chain lock. And the same with the tent as well. If you just get those small sort of combination wire locks that you would put on luggage, you can put them on the zips in your tent, leave the stuff in your tent. The last thing you want is to come back and find your £1,000 lid is being nicked, or your motorbike jacket or boots are gone or something like that. Now, we didn't see anything, and I certainly haven't heard anything since. But for the sake of a disc lock and a little sort of luggage lock, it's well worth just making sure your kit's secure, because a lot of the time you're not at your camp. You're not where your tent is. You're out, you're on the trails, you're trailing bikes, you're in the bars, you're getting food or what have you. And so you don't spend a lot of time with your kit. As I said, everyone there that we met was absolutely fantastic. We didn't hear or know of any trouble. But yeah, for such a small price, it's just worth making sure your kit and your bike obviously are secure. So all in all, would I go again? Absolutely. We had a fantastic time. I broke my shoulder on the first day. Could even see it within the first few hours, and I still had an amazing time. The trail of what I did do, which is a good chunk of it, was awesome. Mark and Keith loved the TRF trail. They went back on the Bridgestone after it was cut up. They had a fantastic time. We had a good drink. We went to some of the gigs. We watched AC/DC, Crystal Rocks. I went to one of the gigs on an evening, which was sort of trance Ibiza style. That was awesome as well. Food was awesome. Drinks were awesome. Site was awesome. Speak to people. Everyone that is there loves bikes, so have a chat with them about their bikes, understand where they've been, what they're doing, top tips from them. So just speak to people. So all in all, would I go back? Hell yeah. We'll be signing off for 2027. We'll get a trail ticket 100%. I'm not going on the trails on the Thursday, and we'll certainly get the Thursday ticket as well. Super Thursday was well worth it. For some reason, I've seen a lot of videos this year around giving the ABR shit, taking a lot of heat around a number of first world problem things for me. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Certainly be going back in 2027.